Archangel Ariel. The believers of Yahweh will always be ridiculed by today's devil society. The children of Yahweh will also always be rejected and inhumanly treated in today's devil society. The image of a white Jesus is the demonic image seen in most churches in the United States, spurring so much hate and supremacy by foolish bigots. The image of white Jesus has been used to justify slavery, lynching, rape, poverty, and genocide against Yahweh's people, a task to replace the image of white Jesus amongst mankind is underway, and many will be surprised by it. No longer can the gaslight be allowed to not realize the fact that very images of who they have learned to accept as God and His Son and the angels are deliberate lies. Yahweh has deployed empaths and angels to deliver holy messages of liberation theology. Thus teaching the conspicuous displays of the so-called white Jesus is obsolete and not only offensive to them but also offensive and repulsive to Yahweh, the Most High. Archangel Phanuel. Yahshua was a black victim of state-sponsored violence, who was surrounded by oppressed black people who wished they could help him but had no power at that time period because descendants of Cain had infiltrated Africa, a peaceful non-violent world, and terrorized it with brutality and murder. Demonic people ruling that part of Africa during the time Yahshua walked the earth made black people seem inhumane, unintelligent, and unclean. They assumed the very worst of them. Yahweh is allowing certain empaths permission to educate the masses about Yahshua's experience on earth and exposing for the first time that he knew what it meant to live in a demonic-occupied territory, and knew what it meant to be black, oppressed, poor, and experienced Celtic oppressors having no empathy or mercy in his senseless murder. These things are still happening today, and Yahweh will avenge his people for the suffering they experienced at the hands of Celtic descendants of Cain. After Yahshua's death, Yahweh allowed him to rise from the dead and return to heaven so that the devil wouldn't know or have access to his body in order to shape-shift to simulate him and to use his remains for evil to fool gullible gaslight people into worshipping him, a mere creature. Just like Lucifer has people today worshipping the grail of a white Jesus as an Ark of the Covenant to trick foolish people and even schooled theologists, Yahweh also hid the bodies of his disciples and others like Moses, Noah, etc. So Lucifer could never find their remains to use for evil. Lucifer is a foul and vile entity bent on mocking Yahweh and destroying the world. My children, don't allow your thoughts to decide for you how Yahweh operates. All of his thoughts are higher than your thoughts and ways. Humanly, it's impossible to figure him out because you are finite, with a sinner and a corruptible mind and heart. No one comes to Yahweh except through Yahshua. Samuel was created by Yahweh and hates him and hates man. You must come to understand quickly that the devil cannot without your help separate your thoughts from your intents with Yahweh. But he can influence them to do evil because he knows the heart and mind can be trained to be deceitfully wicked. You can choose to do good or evil. In the afterlife there is only heaven and hell. In the devil's society you are born on the path to hell. You must be liberated from that hell. Pray for forgiveness from your past sins and trespasses against Yahweh, as well as your forefathers' generation sins as well. You must seek Yahweh. Time is of essence. There is only one divine truth and you must be a part of it.